This time we're doing a tag that was created by Daniela, a friend of mine, so I will link it down below, but let's jump into it. What's up? I hope you're good. So today we're here for the Contradictions book tag that Daniela created, so I will link it down below, like the original video down below. Thank you for tagging me. I will do it. Now it has 8 questions. The last one is actually just tag someone, so consider yourself tagged, wolves. But let's just jump into it. It wasn't that easy to do because the questions seem easy, but they're not. The first one is, I love this genre, but I did not enjoy this book. And like, this is something that's not that accurate nowadays because I'm less and less into that subgenre, genre, whatever. But I used to really love retellings, and that retelling I really did not enjoy, despite the hype around it. But the Sea Witch, the only reason why I still have it is because I'm unholding it, I'm selling it, but the reason why I kept it so long is because the cover is gorgeous. I just did not connect to anything that was happening in that book. I don't care about the sequel. I don't even know why there is a sequel. So yeah, I used to love retellings, but this one did not work for me. Then it's, I rarely read that genre, but I love that book. And that's something that's not fantasy, that's not sci-fi, that's not horror, whatever, but this is actually poems. I do like poems, I just don't read them very often, especially contemporary poems, because they make me feel uncomfortable. I read the Milk, Honey thingy, whatever, it made me feel so uncomfortable. I didn't want to read poems after that, but it's just a me issue. So I read that one, so Life on Mars, which is more sci-fi-ish, let's say, even if it's not just sci-fi-ish. It's like the terms are sci-fi with the moon and the stars and, you know, the planets, constellations, cosmos, or whatever. The topic is not that sci-fi-ish for all of them, but I really enjoyed reading them, and I want to read more poems that are more on the sci-fi or fantasy side, but please don't give me contemporary poems like love and sex and everything. They made me so uncomfortable, so yeah. Then I love this trope, but I didn't like this book, and this is actually the Jumbies. I really love that trope of the weird kid and, you know, something magic happening, something you don't understand, something that you will discover and learn about or whatever. I love that whole thing. Didn't work for me for the Jumbies. I don't know how come. I just felt disconnected to everything that was happening, which made me just not care about any of the characters. I just did not care, which is not, it doesn't mean that the book was bad, but I did not vibe with it. So basically that's the reason why it is here. I hate this trope, but I love this book. So that, I mean, it's the side series. I usually hate dystopia. I don't like dystopia, but this is actually more utopia than dystopia. But as utopia is very too much a topic, it turns into a dystopia some kind. So that's a trope that I don't enjoy. And also the second one is that when there are more than one winner, you know, I don't like that. It's like one or the other. I don't like it. There is one winner, and that's it. Cannot be more than one. But I actually love that series. Even the last one, I know, very like, not many people enjoyed the third one. I loved it. So yeah, that book. I love this author, but I did not like that book. So like is a big word. Like, I did not love that book. I found the book meh, and it was okay, but nothing really special. Even though at the very beginning, I actually really enjoyed it. But it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The very beginning I felt for Addie, but then I just lost interest. It was a bit too repetitive for me, too emotionless, too so many things less. So I did not vibe with it, but I love Ye Schwab and I will read pretty much everything she comes with. I still have a lot of books I need to catch up on. I have Galen here waiting to be read, which should be soon. But yeah, that one, I'm sorry. I previously disliked a book by that author, but I love this book. I actually adored that series and hated the previous one. The previous one being Nevernight by J. Kristoff, and the one I like it being Lifeline, because it is a retelling of Anastasia, so the Romanov. You know my love for the Romanov and Anastasia and whatever, and it is sci-fi. I adored that trilogy. Like, give me robots, a lost princess, and I'm in. Like, it's as basic as it is, but I was really scared to actually dive into that book because I loved Illuminate, that series that he wrote with Amy Kaufman. Then I read Nevernight, absolutely didn't see the point of that series. I don't like assassins. I was traumatized by Assassin with Throne of Glass by Strategimas. Don't even, I was traumatized. I will never read a book by that author ever again. So whenever you give me assassins, I just have a hard time with it. I don't like them. I don't like that trope or that whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised by that one and really loved that series. I love that cover. I did not like the story, and that cover is so gorgeous. So gorgeous, like mechanical horse and fire and someone riding it, and it's a sci-fi fantasy-ish. It's happening in the middle of desert. Apparently there are gods, so you have the good one and the bad one or whatever, and they're playing some kind of game with a human stuck there, and every single year or every little while something happened with 100 years or whatever, and now it's the end of the 100 years, so they know that they're gonna have to do something in order to survive, and they are the two gods who are playing tricks or whatever, and you know, it's supposed to be badass with, you know, witches and mechanical horses, you know, etc, etc. It felt flat, so I enjoyed the very beginning of it, but then after, everybody read it with me and we both felt that way. We did not understand where that book was going. We did not understand the sense of it and anything actually. So yeah, so sad. That's why I'm keeping it. I love the cover. Then we have the opposite. I don't like the cover, but I love the book, and it's Spectacle, which is basically someone who is living in some kind of, you know, antique, like the old France, Paris or whatever, in those old like cities, like buildings, whatever. I think it's in Paris. She sees the truth, but the killer terrorizing Paris sees her. So it's happening there. And if you want, she has a fascination for like people, for murderers of some kind, psychopaths or whatever. And one day she has the opportunity to actually see the corpse of one of the deaths, because she writes for a journal, like for a newspaper. And she goes there, and from that moment she can feel that something is quite different. And it's absolutely like, can I say that or not? Yeah, as the victim count continues to rise, Natalie must follow the clues in her visions to discover the truth about who is murdering the young woman of Paris before she becomes a target herself. Because apparently she can see what the women are actually seeing when they're being killed. And there is a sequel. I have not read the sequel yet, but I'm planning on doing that. That book is, I think, on my wish list and called Sensational, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't like the cover. I really do not like the cover. It's giving me old like French vibes, like old like French books vibe. I don't like it, but I love this one. But yeah, well, that's already it. Share some of your answers down below, or please tag me when you upload your video. I will be curious to see what your answers are. Thank you, Daniela, for creating this tag and for tagging me. I had fun, even though a bit of a hard time answering some questions. But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack. Talk to me in the comment section as usual. And until next time, take care, wolves. Bye! Wait, why am I waving? It's like this.